Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And how are we all today? Well, today it's another hot one. Just looking at the pussycats at the moment. There's the lovely Nelly. She's just chilling out. Down there, it's the lovely Sandy. He's just been having a bit of a drink. The chickens have been and left a message. Bless them. What are you doing there, lovely boy? This is Sandy. He's one of Jane's favourites, Soul Sandy. There you go, darling boy. How you doing? Bless you. To be honest, it's just a bit duller today, and we have got some cloud up there, but we are in line for another hot day. Jane today is going to be working. She's doing a turtle tour today. She says at the moment they've got about 160 tourists on the turtle tour. So so she's going to be busy, but she's not doing that till this afternoon. Just to let you know, the Paninieri here in Macardo was in full swing last night. I've got loads of photographs to put up online, which I will do after the broadcast. The Paninieri last night was very, very well attended. And when you see the pictures, I think it holds, hopefully, some hope that maybe St. Denis's celebration in August this year may go ahead. However, I think once I publish these photographs, there will be people screaming from the rafters about the activities of people here, about social distancing and all the other stuff that's going on. So I warn you now, for those of a weakness of heart, you might not want to look at these pictures. But you know what? For me last night, it was fantastic. It was like normality is coming back to a craziness that we have never seen before in our lives. And it was a bit like the good old days. Although the market wasn't as big as what it has been in the past, it was still a market. There were still people there enjoying themselves. And I even lit a candle for Wiggy, who had his funeral yesterday as well. So again, look out for those pictures. They're going to go up as soon as I've more or less finished this broadcast. Right, so going back to the weather then, Sunday today, hot and sunny. Amanda sent me a concise weather forecast. She said temperatures today, 32 degrees. It's going to feel like 36. Expected heat wave from Sunday. I think the expected heat wave might be on the decline at the moment, but there is a lot of cloud. I've got to be honest, there is a lot of cloud at the moment, which means it might just be a little bit cooler, but we'll wait and see anyway. When it comes to the figures for COVID, oh no, we haven't done who's arriving today. Right, arrivals today then. We've got 5 flights in from Germany today. We've got 1 from Bulgaria. We've got 2 from Amsterdam as well. 1 from Italy, 1 from Corfu, 1 from Israel, 1 from Hungary, 1 from Austria, and 2 coming in from Athens also. So that's the arrivals today. No Brits arriving, although Jane was yesterday at the flight coming in yesterday. The EasyJet flight, I'm trying to think where it was coming from yesterday. I think it was Gatwick yesterday that Jane met. And she said, according to her information, the flight was about 3/4 full. She said she met quite a few lads that came off that flight who were all going to Sillery. So bless them. I hope they have a good holiday. That's all I can say. Right, let me just switch the camera around so you can see my dulcet face this morning. Julie White says, hello, happy days from Planet Apartments. I hope you're having a good time. I was around there yesterday, actually, Julie. I was thinking about you, actually. And I know you were down at Lifetime Bar as well on the beach there. Nice little videos of people enjoying themselves as well. Fantastic. So I hope you're having a good time. Right. Anyway, let's get back to the COVID stats in the last 24 hours. I've got to be honest, the COVID stats in the last 24 hours are on their way up. I did report to you the other day. It was 1,997. New stats today, 2,327. I haven't done this in a while. That means the total amount of infections since the pandemic started last year has been now 437,345. There were 6 new cases which were identified on checks into the country. That's just up on 1 from 5 on the previous report. Now, also interestingly, at the moment, we've had 8 cases reported in Corfu yesterday, 3 cases in Kefalonia reported yesterday, And unfortunately, here on Zakynthos, we've had another 3 cases that have been detected here on Zakynthos. That brings the total amount of cases we've had for July now to 7. Now, where these cases are, we don't know. Whether they are people here on Zakynthos or people who may have an AMCA number that is set for Athens or somewhere else where they may be, we don't know. But at the moment, on our stats at the moment, we've had 7 cases for the month of July. So again, a little bit of an increase, but nothing to get excited about, to be quite honest. It was bound to happen when you consider the amount of tourists that are flying in at the moment, even though the Brits aren't among them. Maybe those extra 3 are people who have been detected on checks into the country. We don't know. All right. That's the bottom line of it. When it comes to deaths, now deaths extraordinarily has really declined in the last 24 hours. I reported to you yesterday there were 12 new deaths across the country. Today I can report to you 2 new deaths. And I think that's the lowest death rate number that we've had in a very, very long time here in Greece at the moment. So there you go. 2 deaths have been reported. That brings the total now to 12,787 since the pandemic started. Again, 96.4% of those people that are passing away had underlying health problems or were over the age of 70. And again, our condolences to those people who have lost loved ones at this point. When it comes to critical cases in ICUs, we'd had a trend of them dropping down. Unfortunately, it's starting to creep up again. I did report to you yesterday that we had 141 people in ICUs across Greece. That number has now crept up to 146 people in ICUs across Greece. 96 of those are male. 46 of those are female. The average age of critical patients is 67. 83.5% of those have underlying health issues or are over the age of 70. So let's hope that those numbers do not creep up any higher than they already have done. Right, now when we come to today's news, it's going to be an interesting selection of news today. With the infections in the unvaccinated population increasing in Greece, attributed to the Delta variant, the Greek government is expected to announce measures next week for targeting mandatory vaccinations and for changes to the rules governing indoor entertainment venues. So that directly affects me in both of those areas. Now, the Deputy Minister of the Interior, Stellos Patas, speaking on Mega TV yesterday, said the operating framework of restaurants is being re-examined. He said what was announced for the pure, this is a new terminology, and mixed locations. So a pure location is all those people that have been vaccinated. I don't like that word pure, all right? And mixed, obviously, those people, a mixture of vaccinated and unvaccinated, stressing that is another thing, a restaurant and an entertainment centre and another bar in a tourist area, those are systems that they are considering at the moment. Now, their specific measures have been announced for July the 15th. He has said if they, talking about bars, restaurants, entertainment centres, need to adapt, they will adapt. So whether you want to run a bar that is pure or it is mixed, all right, that is up to the owners. However, they said they will reward the owners by allowing people with pure bars to have more people allowed in, pure restaurants, more people allowed in than those of mixed. He also said at the same time, and while efforts are being made to persuade more and more citizens to be vaccinated, the Greek government policy on sharing facilities and privileges. However, also they're saying that the life for the vaccinated, for the not the non-vaccinated, but for the vaccinated, is becoming more difficult. Yes, you've had the vaccine and your lives are becoming more difficult. And they're saying that there are possibilities now being seriously considered to close areas which will operate exclusively for the vaccinated. Do you know what this reminds me of? It sounds like Nazi Germany to me. And if I was Jewish, I wasn't allowed in certain areas. I'd have to wear a yellow star, and maybe I might have to wear a star with the letter U on it, which means unvaccinated. But that's the feeling that I'm feeling with all of this kind of apartheid sort of terminology that's coming in. Now, further to this, according to information by the broadcaster ERT, they're the TV station here in Greece, the government is now working on 3 scenarios at the moment. One is to postpone the start of the measures that they've got in mind from the 15th of July, which is next Thursday, until maybe the 22nd of July. So just going to give time to see how this Delta variant goes with the increase that we're getting at the moment from the Delta variant here in Greece. Now, the second scenario, which is now open and they say is on the table, is the creation of a category of closed spaces. This is the pure areas. This will essentially mean that closed spaces of entertainment and of restaurants will only be the concern of vaccinated. In this case, it is considered to give an additional incentive to these owners with increased occupancy. Now, again, it's is this for the staff? Is this also obviously for the guest? That has not yet been discussed or talked about in any detail as to all the people working in a pure area. Are they all expected to be vaccinated, or is self-testing okay at the time? Again, this detail has not yet been revealed. They're also talking about a third scenario at the moment, which has already been formulated, and that concerns the creation of 2 types of spaces, the pure for the vaccinated, or as they put in brackets, sick people, which means the mixed for vaccinated and unvaccinated, as long as the latter have in their hands a negative PCR test. Well, that's the one I want to see, mixed areas where people, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, because the thing is, they're talking about fining, heavy fines at the moment, and it's going to be the responsibility of the venues to make sure that the people that come into those venues are what they say they are, whether they're vaccinated or unvaccinated, whether they've got to present some form of certificate to show that they're unvaccinated, so that the business owner, they don't cop a fine from the health checks, which undoubtedly are going to follow. So they're talking about health checks not only from the police, but also from Greek medical that could come in and all of a sudden say, right, where's the paperwork to say that all your people here in this venue are safe? I see a lot of administrative things coming here, and I also see where administrative things come in, people don't understand what they're supposed to be doing, and they go overboard with it. And this has been happening in certain areas. I'm not going to name anything at the moment because I want to keep a confidentiality, where people have been overly zealous, and in some ways it's backfiring on their business because they don't need to be as overzealous as what they feel they must be. And they're actually losing people simply because it's like, I can't be bothered to go there, simply because of the hassle that's created by going there. The thing is, you've come on holiday, you've been checked as you arrived, you've been checked before you've flown away. Why is it then that the bars, the restaurants, the entertainment centres are being hit draconianly hard, yet the hotels and the accommodation are not? Because if you think about it, what's the difference between going into a crowded bar as to going into a bar in a hotel? What is the difference in the people? What is the difference in the criteria? To me, again, it's overzealous policing. It is making out we're doing something when nothing is being done. And it's also, shall we say, the government looking for excuses to shirk responsibility when it comes to the autumn, when it comes to financially assisting businesses that have suffered during this season, where they haven't had the people come that they want. They've had cancellation of bookings. They've also seen a drop-off of business in their restaurants, in their bars, in their entertainment centres, because there isn't the people on the ground or the people with the money on the ground who would obviously offset their losses. And of course, the government can turn around and say, well, we let you open on that date and you had to follow these rules. And so therefore, we wash our hands of any responsibility there. But we're still going to tax you. We're still going to take money off you. And if your business survives, well, that's just a bonus, isn't it then? So again, there's a lot going on at the moment. And I shall be looking very closely to see how things are going to pan out before next Thursday, when I'm supposedly supposed to be back to work at Magdalena's. Anyway, another story again, according to Dmitry Paraskev, the Associate Professor for Epidemiology and Preventative Medicine at the Athens University Medical School, and he's also a member of the Health Ministry's Committee of Experts, says the risks of serious illness for the fully vaccinated from the coronavirus, even the Delta variant, is extremely low. Oh, there you go. So you've had the vaccine, you're safer. Anyway, in an interview with Paratori FM radio, he said that cases in the United Kingdom and Israel may have increased due to the Delta variant, but the number of people admitted into intensive care is very low. Thank you very much. Some common sense being spoken there. He also said vaccinated people have a low risk of serious illness. The protection provided by the vaccine is greater than 90%. Even if the protection against infection is a little lower, it remains very significant. The risk of serious illness is extremely small for the fully vaccinated, even for the Delta variant, he said, adding this applies to all vaccines. Regarding the severity of the illness caused by the Delta variant, he said there is no definite data, but so far it does not seem to make the disease any more serious. See, there you go. One of the experts saying that if you have had the vaccination, you're at no risk. All right. If you haven't had it like me, I'm at risk and I'm prepared to take that risk. And that's it. I am not a threat to the person who's had the vaccination. So thank you very much, Mr. Professor. Anyway, another bit of good news as far as I'm concerned. The availability of 4 self-diagnostic test kits to beneficiaries at pharmacies has been extended now to Saturday, July the 17th. They will also be available now for the age group of 12 to 17. Beneficiaries include private and public sector employees, all people aged between 18 to 30, if of course they have their AMPCA, they PAPA or the PAMCA social security numbers, as well as persons aged 12 to 17 if they also have the prerequisite social security codes. So again, they're now extending the availability of free testing through the government for even younger ages. So that means then basically I'm still quite happy to self-test twice a week if that's what they want me to do. Now, let's get on to tourism then. The Greek tourism market is harbouring hopes of a significant increase in tourism flows from the United Kingdom based on the first indications following London's decision to lift the demand for quarantine on travellers returning to Britain. The compulsory quarantine will end on July the 19th for people arriving in Britain from destinations on London's amber list, such as Greece, ending the main counter incentive for Britons to visit one of their favourite holiday locations. That is us. Anyway, the UK, which is the second biggest market for Greek tourism after Germany, last year 1 million British tourists came to Greece, bringing a total with them of 750 million euros. Now, in 2019, when the market functioned properly, I like that word, when the market functioned properly, when life was completely different to what it is like now, arrival from Britons had topped the 4 million mark, and their travel spending exceeded 2.5 billion euros. So you can see the reason why we want to see the British back here, especially on this island where it is the British, all right? It is the British rather than the Germans. We don't see many Germans here at the moment. Yes, there has been an increase in flights from them, but nothing to the scale that the British bring. Anyway, however, this may have come quite late, according to this article. According to some industry professionals, as a large sector of the summer will have passed by July the 19th, while the Delta variant threatens to bring new restrictions from the autumn, at least the British market has responded to the decision of its government, with sources speaking of a spectacular increase in bookings for flights to Greece from a very low starting point. So even though people are booking, but they're saying the majority of the season has passed, I can understand that. But I think about last year, we actually didn't really start where I was, really started until the 18th of July, because that's when I went back to work. And again, we kicked off with a bang last year. It was all up and running straight away. Now, from a financial point of view, we can afford that we start again from the 18th. And some people's businesses are going to survive because at least they've got that factor. However, when you look at the amount of bookings that are going on at the moment, sources from some of the biggest European operators like TUI, now they estimate that in coming days, the avalanche of demand anticipated by the recent surveys will turn into actual bookings. And they report a massive rise in visitors to their websites concerning holidays in Spain, Italy and Greece. And the flight booking platform Skyscanner saw new visitors surge by 53%. So people are looking, but now it's about people booking. That's a good catchphrase. So we're going to wait and see how that goes on. The British media also on Friday reported the start of a wave of bookings both online and at travel agencies, while airlines reacted immediately to the soaring demand and adjusting their policy. Therefore, EasyJet added an extra 145,000 seats to its availability as it saw bookings rise fivefold overnight at some destinations, with Corfu in particular showing a 400% increase. What it was for the Zakynthos, I don't know. I have not been told that. The airline holiday packages posted an overnight growth of up to, get this, 440%. Now, not to be left behind, rival carrier Ryanair rushed an offer of cheap flights for guess how much? Cheap flights to Zakynthos, to Greece, for as little as €6. That's right, Ryanair are doing flights for €6. That's £4.99 to the amber list destinations. So that's everywhere. So I bet you your luggage is going to cost you €170. But if you just want to turn up in what you're wearing and do it for the buzz, €6 for a flight, and buy yourself a few T-shirts and a few pairs of shorts, change of underwear, and toiletries, you could come here for literally £6, all right? And that would be awesome. There will be somebody out there who will take up the challenge. So I challenge that person, whoever you may be, if you can prove that you've flown over for €6, all right, that's all, €6. Now, I'm going to be cagey now. The first 5 people who turn up, prove to me they've flown over for €6. They haven't brought luggage with them. They've just turned up as they are dressed. I'll buy you a pint. There you go. The first 5 people who turn up at Magdalena's bar when I'm back to work, and you've flown with Ryanair and you've paid £6 for your flight and you've not booked luggage, right? You've not booked luggage. You've turned up in what you're wearing. I will buy you a pint. So there you go. Because I know if I'd said anybody, I'll probably get inundated. But we'll wait and see. The offer is there. Right. Also, some more news reference Zakynthos. On Wednesday, police have just released information that a foreigner and a local were arrested by police officers here on the island in different cases for crime and theft and attempted theft, respectively. Now, in the first case, a foreigner was arrested by police officers after a complaint against them of the theft of €2,200 from a home in Zakynthos on Tuesday afternoon. The person was then arrested on the Wednesday. Now, in another case, and this is important that people understand this, in another case, police patrol in Zakynthos actually caught a man who was breaking into vehicles and stealing items from the vehicles. They're not saying in the location where he was arrested, But anyway, he was arrested and taken before the magistrate, along with the person who is accused also of stealing money from a home in town. So once again, please be aware there are unscrupulous people on the island. If you do go out, do not leave your hotel rooms open, doors open. I know it's very easy to come on holiday and switch off thinking everybody's nice and everybody's got good intentions. But trust me, my experience here in Zakynthos, gangs turn up, and they only turn up here for the season because they see you as easy pickings, all right? So once again, still be on your guard. Make sure you lock your money away. Make sure you lock your passports away, your credit cards, anything else like that in your safe or whatever. And just do not leave any doors, windows open that may encourage people to come into your accommodation while you are here. Right, and finally then tonight, hopefully it's coming home tonight. Yeah, 10 p.m. kickoff here in Greece. That's 8 p.m. in the UK. Magdalena's bar will be showing the football tonight. I will be in the bar tonight, so if anybody wants to come in and say hello, it'd be nice to catch up with you. I see a few names of people that I do want to catch up with who are over here. Dave Burns, you're one of those people I want to catch up. Also the lovely Miss White as well, who's here on holiday, and anybody else who's here at the moment who are regular tuners into my podcast. I'd love to say hello to you, see how you're getting on, see how you're enjoying your holiday. Oh, and by the way, I did go round all of the what do you call them? The medical centres in Sillery to get pricing and information on PCR testing before going back. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put that up with this podcast just as added attachment, so it's written down. I'm not going to say the locations. I'm going to leave that to you. I'm not going to say the locations' prices because that is not fair. What I'm going to do is basically give you the average cost, and it is very easy to do to get self-tested, either PCR test or the lateral flow test. The difference between the cost of testing is quite significant, but also the time factor that you have with one compared to the other. The only advantage of the more expensive is that it gives you more time, all right, and less time to worry about being okay for when you want to go. But I'll put all of that in just a little bullet point thing at the end of this podcast. Right, let's have a quick look, see who's tuning in at the moment. Big shout out to John Clifford. Nice to see you there, sir. Hope everything is good down there in Kalamaki. Martin, Paula, Hazel is also tuning in as well. Denise Williams is looking in. Rainer Pete Dillon is watching as well. Marquette Rolzaki. That's a new name. I don't recognise you. I'm just wondering if you're one of the guides that Jane has been working with at the moment, who's been complaining that they don't get any Greek news. All they hear is English news, and I know exactly where you're coming from. So anyway, I'm hoping that might be you tuning in, just checking out the news from me every day here on my podcast from the balcony. Also, ex-RAF Reg buddy of mine, Taff Evans, tuning in. Hilary Rogers up the north end of the island tuning in. Also, Sam Curtis is watching as well. Just another thing to remind you as well, I've got my Northern Soul show on tonight on beachradio.co.uk. That's kicking off at approximately 9 o'clock Greek time, which is, 5 o'clock UK time, which is 7 o'clock Greek time. It means you could technically get my Northern Soul show in before the football starts, because I'll be having a listen to it while I'm getting ready, and also just keeping an eye in the chat room. And again, thank you for all those people that are supporting beachradio.co.uk. Our listening figures are doing extremely and extraordinarily well. We are so shocked at the amount of listeners that we have in Greece, as well as in the United Kingdom. And once again, Ben sends his thanks for your support. And also as well today, I'm going to try, if I've got time, because I've got a lot to do, I will get my Dance Anthem show from last Friday up online, and you can obviously watch that in your own time, listen to that in your own time as well. Somebody's saying, Gallimera, hope Jane's customer see lots of turtles to keep them happy. To be honest, Jane has said, while doing the turtle cruises, every time, I'm probably going to jinx it now, every time they've gone out, she said, there's one particular turtle that she sees, and she says, I'm sure it's the same turtle, who just seems to come to the boats and just seems to lap up all the attention that people give him when he goes on display. And I think he's a male actually as well, so that's probably the reason. But again, the turtle cruises, despite everything, are still being well attended. The only problem is language at the moment, because it's all different languages, from Jane doing the English to Slovakian, Bulgarian, and whatever. But it seems from the sounds of it, it's quite fun actually. And people are still enjoying seeing the turtles at the moment here in Zakynthos in the National Marine Park. Steve Hinkling is watching as well. Nice to have you looking in as well. Wendy Norcliffe. Anybody else? Anybody else that I haven't mentioned? Rosewood as well. Nice to have you looking in. Barbara Telfer is watching. I think that's it. I'm not able to see any more comments without it jumping back to the beginning. Oh, Ian Booth. Boothie, nice to have you tuning in, fella. I hope you're in good health. You say, good morning, Ginge, and he's got his little Greek flags waving, and he's also got his English flag waving as well. Obviously, getting ready for the football. I'm just wondering how many Italians at the moment. I did notice quite a few Italian flags hanging off verandas in accommodation yesterday in Sylvie. So I think tonight it's going to be very interesting. I've been listening to some of the pundits talking about what they think the result is going to be. Somebody said to me yesterday, talking to somebody from Denmark yesterday, saying, I think it's going to be, I don't want it, he said, to be penalty shootouts. He says, I want it to be football being played and scored. And again, I think of Gareth Southgate and penalty shootouts. Although we've done a couple under his leadership, I just think that he'd be having post-traumatic flashbacks during it, and we don't want him to have to go through that as well. So anyway, we will wait and see. Can I also say a big shout out to the lovely Asa Bricknell, who is now over here working now. He did correct me to say that he had arrived here on the island. He's not still in Athens. He's down at the Green Frog. I'm not sure. Is the Green Frog open at the moment? It must be open because you're there, mate. But anyway, nice to have you looking in. Normally looking in from Athens. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to see how today unfolds. I will keep my ear close to the ground. And we'll see how things progress forward with these new restrictions that are, or these new, the Greek government would say opportunities, all right, how they're going to pan out in regards for the season. But we shall wait and see what happens. And if I hear any news, trust me, you will be the first to know. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll catch you later. You take care. Have a great day. And if you can, and if you're not doing anything, why not take a trip up to Macardo, up to the Iamavra Church, go and see the celebrations that's going on up there. They're going to continue through the day. I must admit, last night we had firework displays. We had all the stuff that you would normally have on a normal year, and it was great. And I will get those pictures up online as soon as I get this broadcast up online as well. And don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, again, please click over to my Facebook page and you can share and see those pictures. I'll probably put a link in anyway on the YouTube page so that you can go and have a look at the pictures of Iamavra and Macardo and the celebrations that are still going on here and what we're getting up to here on the island of Zakynthos despite everything that's going on. All right? And yes, the Green Frog is open, Ginge. Thank you very much. So if you're down in Argosy, the Green Frog is open. Asa, fantastic chef, man of the food. Go and say hello to him from me. I'll try and get down and see you at some point, fella. But anyway, we shall wait and see what happens. Anyway, you take care. Have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra!